great to be here. Thank you so much for the invite to allow me to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that's talking about ASEA. How do we talk about ASEA? How do we tell people about this cool message? And I hope the dog pays attention there. Come on, doggy, pay attention. No, not that attention. You're facing the wrong way. Okay. So listen, it is 10:35 at night here, so hopefully I will make some sense. It's way past my bedtime, so hopefully I'll make some sense here. I'm going to bring up a few PowerPoints. Is that okay, Nicole, if I share a little PowerPoint here?
That would be amazing, Alan.
Okay, because what I'm going to give you is some of the words that I have used over the last 12 years. It'll be 12 years this May since I started my journey in ASEA. And it's been an absolutely incredible experience. I don't think I've got time to go into my story here, but looking for a health solution for my dad, who was really not in a great way. And then my wife had an amazing experience with the technology, and that was the beginning, way back. And then obviously I'm an entrepreneur. I saw the incredible opportunity of having a technology that was literally a new category of science the world had never seen before. It had a huge impact on the human condition, and virtually nobody knew about it. And I often say you don't have to be the sharpest entrepreneur to realize there's opportunity there. And so there's more to the story, but that was the beginning in May 2009. So I've been telling this story for nearly 12 years. Now, the advantage that we have over, say, corporate is we get to sharpen our saw every single day. We're constantly molding the message, okay? We connect with people, we say some things, and maybe they just don't quite hit the spot. I'm not a great tennis player, but I've hit a few shots where you just hit that beautiful sweet spot in the center of the racket, and you just hear that ping, you know, same with the golf club, in the zone, you just hit that sweet spot. And sometimes when we're communicating with people and sharing the story with ASEA, you can just feel when you connect. I call it the aha moment. You say something and you just feel that connection, like you've made contact. They get it, okay? They get why this is such an astonishing technology. And so that's what I want to do here today, is give you some of the phrases that we have developed along the way, that I've kind of chiseled and molded along the way. And this is where I am in my journey. Now, a year from now, this might be a little different. Some of these phrases I've started using fairly recently, but they just seem to connect. There's a famous phrase that simplicity is on the far side of complexity. And I think perhaps the biggest mistake that people make coming into network or coming into ASEA is we make the message too complicated. We make it way too complicated. So hopefully what I'll show you here is really how simple this is, okay? How very simple the ASEA message can be. And I think probably our greatest achievement over the last 12 years is reaching a place of simplicity. It's certainly a much simpler message today than it was when I was sharing this in 2009, 2010, 2011. We got lost in the weeds. We got lost in the science. We got lost in the reductants and the oxidants. And it's actually a much more simple message. So I'm really excited about where we are in our messaging today. So let me bring up some slides here to try and keep me on track. Am I good to the top of the hour or a little less than that? Well, you can stop me when you're tired of listening to me. So let's go. Let me do a quick screen share.
Top of the hour would be great. Thanks, Alan. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, boss. Okay, let me, whoops, went way past it. I'm not going to give you all that. Let me start here, okay? And these are just a few thoughts. Whoops, there. Okay. These are just a few thoughts that I scribbled down here, since it is, you know, late at night. I wanted to make sure that my brain would still work and I wouldn't forget what I was going to share with you. So I thought it would be good to write some of these things down. Also, I thought it might be useful, since I'm trying to teach you some phrases and some exact words that I use, that it might be good to actually see them. If you want to take a photograph or a screenshot or something, you can certainly do that. But here's kind of just a quick introduction. Prospecting is the $1 million skill. It is. I want you to imagine what you're doing here is you're putting people through an information funnel. the ASEA funnel is really an educational funnel, and you put people in the top and they come out the bottom. And simple math, simple physics, if nothing goes in the top, nothing comes out the bottom. If a lot goes in the top, a lot can come out the bottom. And so prospecting is simply connecting with people. And that's our basic job, is to connect with people and let them know that our ASEA technology and opportunity exist. At its most basic fundamental, that is what we do. We connect with people and simply let them know that this technology exists. Now, our goal is not to convince and sell people. Our goal is to sift and sort, looking for people who want what we have, okay? Imagine you're part of a tribe and you're looking for others that want to join that tribe. I'm not trying to, I often say it like this, I'm looking for people that already get the fact that their health is their greatest wealth, that living in a healthy, vibrant body is important. Now, I guarantee you that every single person that's watching this, from Bribey Island to Andrea's house and Pam and Kylie and everybody on this line, I guarantee you, you can check that box, that you believe your health is your greatest wealth and it's your responsibility to invest into it. That living in a healthy, vibrant body is a top priority in your life. I know for a fact, even if I haven't met you, I know for a fact that you can check that box. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, because this is the tribe of ASEA. This is who Justin and Nicole and the leadership attract into this business. And you see, I want you to imagine, I'm looking for people who already get that. I'm looking for people who already check that box, then taking them to ASEA, this breakthrough, this significant health technology. It's only a small step. It's fun. It's exciting. But if I'm trying to take somebody down here who believes that their health isn't important, or that their doctor has all their answers, or the pharmaceutical companies have all the answers, you know, if I'm trying to talk to somebody here, guys, that's an exhausting journey to take them to here. And truthfully, I don't have time for that. That's not my job. I'm not here to change people's eye color. I'm here looking for people who already get what we're talking about. We're just simply going to introduce them to the next great breakthrough. So I think sometimes people make this a lot more difficult than it is, because you're honestly talking to the wrong people. So the first thing you've got to check and make sure that the people you're connecting with actually check that box. They believe their health is their greatest wealth, and it's their responsibility to invest into it, that living in a healthy, vibrant body is important. And again, I've proven this, I think, by saying that every single person here could raise their hand. We could do a little exercise. If you check that box, raise your hand. Okay? Any hands down? Hey, if your hand's down, you're in the wrong place. This isn't your tribe. I'm just telling you, okay? So I've done this for almost 12 years. I know for a fact that this box has to be checked. And once you check that box, so we sift and sort, looking for people who get it, who are interested, who are drawn to these kinds of technologies. We're looking for people who want what we have. And then what our job is to do is to ask questions, create curiosity, pique interest, not to explain the whole thing, not to become redox experts, redox doctors. That's not our job. Our job is to keep this simple, fun, and duplicatable, okay? So we're going to ask some questions. We're going to create some curiosity. We're going to pique interest, but we want to leave people, we want to leave our prospects wanting more, okay? And in fact, the definition of a prospect is somebody that gives you permission to present. Okay, that's really the definition of a prospect. Somebody who raises their hand and goes, I'm really interested in what you're telling me. I'd like to know more. That's really the definition of a prospect. And then we let the tools tell the rest of the story. So let's go into a little bit more detail in these ideas. Okay, so asking questions. This is a phrase, anybody that works with me hears me say this almost every single day. The quality of your business will be based on the quality of your questions. Okay, the quality of your business will be based on the quality of your questions. Too often, you know, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we should use them in that order. Listening is a very, very valuable skill. If you ask the right questions and listen, it's amazing what people will tell you. It's amazing. They will certainly tell you whether they are a potential prospect or not, okay? But sometimes we kind of act like we've got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 mouths and maybe just half an ear. And we're so busy, you know, showing up and throwing up with our agenda and explaining what we're excited about. I mean, we do it with good intentions, but we're not really listening, okay? So the ability to ask questions is very, very important. So look, there is no magic question. I don't have any magic leprechaun dust that I can, you know, give you here to give you the magic sparkly question that everybody says yes to, okay? And in fact, you don't really want a question that everybody says yes to, because not everybody's ready for redox. That's the truth. Not everybody's ready for this cutting edge technology. As I'm about to say in a second, this is 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. It's so early on the product acceptance curve, okay? But this is an example of a question, okay? Hey, Nicole, there's been a huge breakthrough in the world of health and wellness. Everybody I love and care about deserves to know about this. What you do with it's totally up to you. But if I sent you a short 7-minute video, would you check it out? Okay, that's an example of a very simple question. Now, if somebody's interested in cutting edge health technologies, they're going to say yes to this. Okay, another simple question from a business point of view. Hey, Nicole, if there was an opportunity to create a really significant residual income and it didn't get in the way of what you're currently doing, by taking advantage of a huge breakthrough in health and wellness, would you want to know about that? Would that interest you? If I sent you a short video, would you check it out? Okay, so this is just an example. I'm just giving you the concept of asking questions. Okay, hey, did you keep your options open to earning additional income if it didn't get in the way of what you're currently doing? Okay, so this idea, one of the ways we're teaching this a lot now is this idea, look, everybody deserves to know about this. Hey, there's been a huge breakthrough in health, and I just believe everybody I love and care about should know that this technology exists. What you do with it's up to you. But if I sent you a short video, would you check it out? Okay. So this is just a simple example of questions. Now, one of the most important skill sets to develop here when talking about ASEA is developing curiosity. Okay. Now I'm going to give you, this is what I was talking about earlier. Some of these phrases that when you practice them and you start to mold them like chiseling away in a sculpture, you begin to realize what hits home, what connects and what doesn't. So I'm going to give you some of my favorite product phrases, because when you connect with somebody and, you know, ask them a question like that, they're going to say, well, what is it? And again, you want to refrain from getting into a full-blown presentation. But I am a big fan of creating curiosity. Let me give the analogy. You're going fishing and you've got great bait on the end of your hook. Better health, better athletic performance, younger, healthier looking skin, and a bigger bank account, okay? You got great bait on the end of your hook and you're going fishing with that great bait, the ASEA technology and opportunity. You're not trying to convince the fish they're hungry, you're looking for hungry fish. And so, but once you get that nibble and go, I'd like to know more about that, you then set the hook. You give that line a tug. You set the hook in the fish's mouth. That's what we're doing here, building more curiosity and intrigue. So here's some of my favorite phrases. This is one of the single greatest health science breakthroughs that we will see in our lifetime. For many people, this is the missing link to better health and vitality. For 20 years, science said this technology was impossible. This is a technology that is 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. Some experts are saying that this is as big as the discovery of DNA and penicillin. One of the new phrases that I'm kind of playing around with now is, look, this literally represents a new category of science, of health science. Imagine everything that's come before is like a car, and this is the first plane. This is a totally different category, okay? I tried that out tonight with a prospect. It seemed to work okay. And so we're always playing with some stuff, but these are my staples, okay? This is my staple diet in product curiosity. Now, sometimes people are very complimentary and saying that I'm a great communicator of the ASEA message. Guys, I just learned some simple phrases and I just mix them around like a box of chocolates. You know, I'm talking to somebody and I might say, listen, We got an astonishing technology that any challenge you can think of, we're seeing astonishing results. That's another one I like. In fact, for many people, this is the missing link to better health and vitality. You know, for 2 decades, science said this technology could not be done, and yet we've achieved it. And some experts are saying it could be as big as the breakthrough as the discovery of DNA and penicillin. That's all sounds great, but guys, these are just bullet points that I mix and match based on the conversation. And when I'm talking to somebody, I have a technique, and I didn't realize I was doing this until I kind of really had to become aware, because I was teaching it to somebody. And I realized that what I like to do is a double punch. I like to have at least 2 of these lined up. Okay. And so you might say, well, what is it? And I say, well, it's one of the single greatest health science breakthroughs that we'll probably see in our lifetime. In fact, for many people, it's the missing link to better health and vitality. Hey, does that sound like something you might like to know more about? So I usually deliver these like a jab and a punch at the same time. Boom, boom, a double punch. So these are some of my favorite product curiosity questions. And again, the point here is to build curiosity, to say, does that sound like something that you might like to know more about? So here's my favorite business curiosity phrases. It's a new category in science. It's heavily patented, no competition. It's high impact. It gets great results. Virtually nobody knows about it. And it's creating significant residual income for the right person. Hey, does that sound like something you might like to know more about? Okay, so these are some of my favorite, these are basically how I describe the opportunity to people. Look, it's a new category in science. It's heavily patented, no competition, no copycats. No other company in the world has what we have. It's high impact, gets astonishing results. In fact, for many people, it's the missing link to better health and vitality. See how I slipped that one in there, okay? And best of all, virtually nobody knows about it. And this is creating huge, significant, huge opportunity for people to build significant residual income. Does that sound like something you might like to know more about? Now, what you'll notice is I'm not explaining anything here. I'm simply setting the hook. I'm simply building more curiosity and intrigue. And so you want to get these phrases down cold so you can deliver them hot. I think way too often in network marketing, we look at people that are good at this kind of stuff and we put it down to talent instead of putting it down to hard work. It's like, you know, you can watch that concert pianist play a Liszt piano concerto or whatever your style of music is. You can, you know, watch that great musician and you go, oh, how talented they are. But that's kind of a cop-out. That's an excuse. See, that's an excuse that we use for not practicing the piano. Oh, well, they're talented. They're more talented than me. I guarantee you, if every single person worked at playing the piano, they could be pretty good if they gave it long enough. Okay. Anybody can learn these simple phrases. If you know the Lord's Prayer or the national anthem, or even the birthday of all your kids, you can learn these simple phrases, but it takes a little bit of practice. And this is where you've got to make the decision to raise your game from being an amateur to being a professional. Okay. And I will tell you, amateurs don't make a whole lot of money in network marketing. Professionals make a fortune, and they don't have to be full-time. It's just they master the skills that are necessary to build a successful business. So it takes a little bit of work. I get tired hearing the word talent. I prefer to hear the word hard work. We need to start, for most people, they're not that talented. They just work hard if they're good at something. Another thing you want to get good at is telling stories. Learn to tell your story. Learn to tell the story of others. I don't really have a huge story in ASEA, but I learned to tell the story of others, okay? And you want to get these down cold so you can deliver them hot. Again, you want to really practice them. Pick your 5 favorite stories. And you're not going to spill them out every single time, but when you're on a call with somebody, it's going, you know what, may I share a quick story with you of what this did for somebody? And you're able to deliver maybe even a 10-second version of it, a 30-second version of it, a 2-minute version of it, just depending on the situation that you're in. Okay. But these things just don't happen. They take practice. They take practice. Okay. And so I have a very simple, oh, and I should point that out in the red. Let's just go back to that. ASEA is not a treatment or cure for any disease or medical condition. Never make medical claims. Best way to stay away from medical claims is just don't ever let the name of a disease come out of your mouth. Now, let me give you my very, very simple testimonial formula that works for about 95% of testimonials. You're creating a before and after snapshot, kind of like the weight loss ad with the guy, the big guy in his big guy pants, and then you got the skinny guy in his big guy pants, and you could fit 3 of them in there. It creates a very, very clear visual for the person watching the ad. We want to create that same very clear visual. Now, this is a whole training in itself, so I'm just going to give you the overview. In the before side, you want to create time, describe, and impact. Hey, for this amount of time, this is what was going on, and this is how it impacted the person's life or my life. And then after, hey, for this amount of time, this is what was going on, and this is how it impacted their life. Okay, before ASEA and after ASEA. And it's also cool to mention who introduced them to ASEA, because what you're doing there is you're actually validating word of mouth network marketing. You're validating the very activity that you're in the middle of doing. Okay, so hey, for this amount of time, so my wife, hey, for 10 months after the birth of my daughter, my wife had just tremendous discomfort in her lower back and hips and down her leg, and just the simplest activities of lifting the baby out of the bath or pushing the buggy was just horrible for her. And then, hey, the next door neighbor, in this case, it was me, but then I introduced her to ASEA, but you could say then a friend in church, you know, again, you're validating network marketing. But then I introduced her to ASEA, and after only 24 hours of using this product, my wife woke up with 0 discomfort, and she was finally, for the first time, able to be the mother she always wanted to be. Okay, super simple, okay? But we could talk a lot more about that, but that's just a snapshot. In the remaining time, let me see what I've got to share here. It's also about your enthusiasm, guys. We communicate with energy. Just like an A on a piano is 440 hertz. That's the definition of an A. It's 440 vibrations a second. You are vibrating in energy, whether it's an energy of gratitude, whether it's an energy of drama or guilt or shame or love or joy or whatever it is. You're vibrating in energy. You're communicating. It's not what you say, it's how you feel about what you say. It's not the words that you say, it's the song that you sing, okay? And so your belief, your enthusiasm, your confidence, your excitement is much, much more important than the actual words. Again, the amateur tends to focus on what to say. The professional will think more about how to say it, okay? Please realize that prospecting is not a presentation, okay? You may get the accolades and people go, oh my goodness, you're so smart. You know so much about Redox, but that will not duplicate a business. Okay. Your goal is always to promote a tool. Always send people to a video. You don't have to be the expert. You are the messenger, not the message. You do that, people will look back at their journey and go, I can do this. I can do this. I can ask people, hey, I've got a technology I believe you deserve to know about. What you do with it's totally up to you. Hey, it's missing link to better health and vitality. Any challenge you can think of, we're seeing astonishing results. For 2 decades, science said it was impossible. Hey, does that sound like something you might like to know more about? Okay, if I sent you a short video, would you watch it? So people are looking at this journey going, you know what, I can do that. With a little practice, I could do that. Now, let me leave you with this. This is my last slide. I see I'm coming up right to the top of the hour here. I'm going to put this up here and you can take a picture of it, but this is pretty much word for word what I say. I could close my eyes right now and probably give you this word for word because I've said it so many times. I didn't set out to memorize it. I just have said it so many times. What you sometimes find, I'm going to give you this is kind of the advanced course, okay? What I've given you there up to now, the asking questions, creating curiosity and intrigue, that's where you want to start at. But people go, well, what is it? And sometimes it's nice to be able to give a short preview, to give them a little something, but not enough where they can make a decision. They still need to go to the tool, but you're setting that hook just a little bit better. And I will tell you, my ability to give a short 60-second preview has absolutely helped me anchor down prospects, have them watch the tools and close the business. So in fact, I did this literally about 2 hours ago with a brand new prospect. She goes, well, what is it? And I said, listen, to grasp this technology, you've got to understand that your body is the most complex communication network on earth. Every second of every day, your cells are signaling and communicating critical messages for health. Any breakdown in this signaling, in this communication, and you cannot achieve your full health potential. Let me give you a simple example. Your home's on fire. You call the fire department, and they're there with the big red truck and the firefighters and the fire hose and everything they need to put out the fire. But what if you have a bad cell signal? What if they don't get the message? Your home goes up in smoke. It's the same in your body. If your cells can't signal, little else matters. And we're pretty much every other product out there in the health and wellness world is dealing with the fire truck. We have the only technology in the world that can amplify and clarify this critical cell signal. And the difference it's making in people's lives is absolutely astonishing. For many people, it's the missing link to better health and vitality. Hey, Bob, does that sound like something you might like to know more about? Okay. Now, this is the advanced course. Okay. But honestly, I don't think it's that difficult to memorize, to get the feel of this. But what you'll notice is I talk about a technology. I didn't mention redox signaling molecules once. I certainly didn't mention reductants and oxidants. I didn't mention salt water. I didn't mention any of those things that take us down a rabbit trail. What I did was a simple example to get the concept of signaling. See, that's the big difference. That's the big shift of where we've come in 12 years. That's where I started saying that simplicity is on the far side of complexity. It's amazing over 12 years how we've gradually simplified the message into one of signaling and communication. If your cells can't signal, little else matters. Simple example, simple concept. I want them to walk away with the concept and going, wow, the only technology in the world that can amplify and clarify that critical cell signal. So a little bit more advanced. This is the advanced class is learning how to give this short preview. And then the very, very last thing I'll say is this. It's okay if people don't buy your story, don't buy their story. And what I mean by that is sometimes the mistake that people make is they will get good at some of this stuff. They'll learn some of these phrases, and then somebody says no to them. And they start doubting themselves and they go, oh, well, maybe I didn't say it right. I'm going to tell you, have confidence in your message. It will resonate with the right people. It will resonate. It will connect with the people that you're looking for. So there we go. Thank you so much for giving me some time to share. Hope I didn't go too much over the time, but let me hand it back to you, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Thank you so much for staying up late on a Friday night to join us here. We've got a few people in the room and people gathered in rooms in other parts of the country as well to celebrate this online Envision event together. There was a lot of great nuggets.
Hey, and look, I'm just going to give you guys a shout out. Big shout out to the leadership of Justin and Nicole. Absolutely tremendous leaders there in Australia. And I have so much respect for this beautiful couple. So thank you for all that you do, guys. Really, really appreciate you.